Hey guys, it's me, Troy. You have to forgive me today. I don't have my camera. It seems to have broken somehow. Anyway, we're doing this quick video on good ways to clean your EGR valve. You can see that there. So anyway, I was getting kicked out. Code's 332 on my 1995 F150 XLT blah 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 EEC4 and your ERG system or whatever, EGR, it just connects right there. I mean, you pretty much have to be an idiot to not know that. There's a bolt. The bolt's on. I had to use a brazing torch to get that off, and I went to get a breaker bar just from my monkey wrench to get that off, and I believe it is 30 seconds. Yeah, let me check that real fast for you. But anyway, I put PB Blaster on it, and I had torched the crap out of it and decided, well, you know what, I'm going to get a breaker bar, and I'm actually going to get a wrench that fits. There's something about torching bolts, nuts and bolts, whereas the nut is steel and the shaft over there of our EGR intake is aluminum, and everything else around it is basically aluminum. Aluminum and steel don't like each other, so that's why a lot of times you'll have problems trying to get these bolts unstuck, like whether it's a water pump or whatever. So they get stuck. So if you heat it up with a brazing torch, the steel will actually expand around the aluminum, or is it the other way around? Aluminum expands. Either way, it'll expand, contract, expand, contract. So if you do that a few times, that's one good way. As long as if one of your if your nut is steel and your bolt is, say, aluminum or vice versa, you're not going to get an aluminum bolt. But anyway, the valve itself is aluminum, and the threads are aluminum. Well, yeah, down around the intake hose. So just an idea. Torch. Of course, that didn't really work for me until I got back. But expand, contract. You got to give it some time. I ran to the store and I actually got a wrench, and I got this giant bar right here. Didn't use it. Barely used this wrench. These are like 25 bucks, by the way. But it's 1 1/16. Okay, in case you're wondering. And when you get that sucker on there, you push it forward, because you'll wonder if the bolt or the nut, if you're wondering if it's on the tube, is it on the tube or is it on the valve? Is it the valve screwed to the tube or the tube screwed to the valve? It's the tube screwed to the valve, or the valve screwed to the tube, I mean. So that means that when you get it in there, I mean, well, just look at it. You got to push it forward. So is that steel? This is aluminum. Never mind. This is steel, and your EGR valve is steel down there as well. So I found a good way to clean it, if I can find it. It's right in front of me. A good way to clean these, of course, what you do is you come over here and you just basically just spray the crap out of it with carb cleaner, oven cleaner, whatever works for you. Get in there. Get in there. There was a lot of carbon buildup in the top, right there. If you can see it, a lot of carbon, and I couldn't suck anything through there. So I hope this solves the problem. I hope it's solved because I'm out of carb cleaner. But that's okay because I bought barbecue cleaner as well. You do what you can, right? A good way to do that is to clean these is from what I just found is get your spark plug cleaner. Spark plug cleaner. See that hole? It's perfectly right down in there. It's kind of hard to do this. Fits in there. Good. Watch myself for a second. So you got your spark plug cleaner. You just wind it around in there. Bearing in mind that your valve itself on the bottom is spring loaded, but it fits that as well. So push in really tight in case you're trying to get some fancy ideas on how to do that. And it also works on the valve to the on the engine as well, on the manifold. No, I'm not talking to myself. Looks like I'm talking to my toolbox. Is sitting in my toolbox. Don't skip on the valve right there either. You might want to poke something through there. You find some wire. You know, all kinds of crap in here. Things I never use. Things I make tools out of. Is that an Allen key? Yeah, that'll probably work. Oh yeah, it's pretty clean. It's actually pretty clean on the inside. I was kind of surprised. But yeah, exhaust likes to build up on these and make it very, very hard to get that out. I've been cleaning this for a while. It's I want to make sure it's absolutely clean. It's really gotta just keep at it, keep at it, keep at it. I mean, my pinky fits in there just perfect. So that's how I can tell my pinky's dirty. It's still dirty. So you loosen it up, pour your favorite cleaner in there. Try not to get any on your sensors when you go to do the engine. And you gotta clean it, 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 and you gotta clean it. But whereas before, well, let's see, you put your thumb over this, and small thumbs, it's easier. I got a glove here. Like, put your thumb over, put your glove on, block the top passage there, and blow on this. Blow and suck on it. Now you should be. I don't know if you can hear that, but you can hear the valve opening and closing. It'll go tick 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 tick. So I think that means we got it, whereas before we weren't getting anything. So I hope this gives some guys some ideas. Another thing that you can do when you're testing your valve before you take it off is take your siphon. Everybody's got to have a siphon. Find a tube. That's what I did. I put a little zip tie on it there. Put it on top of that. And you should be able to blow on it. And you should get something. If it's connected to the vehicle, your vehicle should stall or have some kind of reaction. The engine should shut down a little bit. The ghost just opened up my other car door and closed it. I'm not kidding. Okay, so you might, this is something I didn't think of before, but you might even just use your hose here. Like, you know how some people have suction gauges? You're actually supposed to use a suction gauge. yeah, you might just use this. You know, your siphon without disconnecting it. I don't think it's going to get that much suction enough for what you would need, but you don't really need that much suction. I think this thing was stuck open or closed. It was totally clogged, and I think that's probably going to fix the problem. Maybe. If not, I got my favorite tool right here. Okay. My brother called me up today and asked me if I wanted to go shoot guns, and I was thinking, I almost said, you know what? Bring your guns over here and shoot them, because I got this truck that's actually starting to piss me off. I'm not having a good day with it. Well, I am. I got this thing off. I'm doing all right. I got other things I'd rather be doing, other things to do. But if this clears code 332, which is insufficient EGR flow, I will be happy. I will be happy, and I will be able to make this truck nice and legal, and I will drive it for a year. So there is really a lot of carbon in there, and I just can't believe it. You know, you can tell how much carbon is in your engine.
I'll be back.
Okay, I'm making a video, so I'm not talking to myself. I have to explain it. Oh, okay. I guess you are talking to yourself. You're just like your dad. Just like your dad. You know what's funny about my old man? He is no longer with us. He's in heaven. And he didn't have the internet. We have the luxury of having the internet. Through the internet, I've been able to replace almost every part in this F250 over here. And that beast. So, I mean, he didn't have that. He had neighbors. And when I have to use a tool or something, and I have to go out to the shed, I'm finding tools, stuff that I wonder how the heck he knew. He has spring compression tools. I wonder how he knew. He wasn't a car mechanic. I think he always talked about having Chilton's manuals and things of that nature. So, any better like that? I'll just come over here and talk to myself. So, I wonder, you know, how did people do it in the olden days? I think they use their neighbor and get around the sides there really good. Actually, I have a pair of tweezers. So I got every tool that I use for other things, because I'm not a rich man. And that wrench, I'll probably take it back. But that bar that I brought, that I purchased to be a breaker bar, I might actually keep that and use it for something else. Smoke marijuana out of it. No, I'm just joking. If you had to use a pipe to make a pipe, you're not very creative. I mean, you could use this can. I'll bet I could make a pipe out of this. Let's take measure. Or this barbecue cube. Okay. I'm just kidding. I'm just repeating stuff that I heard other people say. So yeah, we're doing this really good, and do the same thing inside the engine. Period. Just clean it, man. Just freaking clean it. Until it shines like the top of the Chrysler building. Actually, movie trivia. What's that from? What's that from? What movie is that from? Most guys won't know that. It's a musical. I'll give you a hint. It's a famous musical. Bunch of little girls in it, though. That's all the hints I'm going to give you. Okay, it's Annie. It's Annie. It's Annie. So, this is really full of carb cleaner, and I just, it's going to work. Oh, yes. It will be mine. Do you like my truck? Do you like my truck? I would like to drive it. I've had this thing for 10 years and I've never really driven it. I took it on 2 trips. That's it. That's my bug out truck, man. You're supposed to drive your bug out truck. Actually, and I rebuilt my F150 and it doesn't seem complicated to me at all anymore. I mean, I've learned it, and you think the 150 would essentially be similar, but it is 4-wheel drive, and when you get under there, it's a lot different. Let's talk about speed sensors. You're going to look up speed sensor on your vehicle because your speedometer, let's say your speedometer is bouncing around. So it's either the PSOM, which is behind, it's the little circuit board behind the instrument cluster or whatever that the wiring harness plugs into, or it could be your VSS, or it could be a short. Most people assume the first thing they do, and this is how it is with a lot of things. I notice people do. The first thing that they want to do is replace their sensors. It's a faulty sensor. So I actually had a blown fuse going to the speedometer here, and even though this thing it would get stuck at 20, and then it would go way up, and then it would go way back down, way up, way back down. This needle. But the odometer worked fine. Well, when you go look up parts for these, there's people that are going to tell you, no, the speed sensor is on the transmission behind the bell housing. If your speedometer or odometer is can you see that? Is digital like mine is. I mean, I've got a needle, but my odometer is digital, and they're both connected. Then your speed sensor, your VSS, your vehicle speed sensor, is the same part as the ABS sensor, and it just looks like a magnet, and it plugs into your wheelbase, right in the middle. I'm not even going to show you. If your odometer, let's just go around to this one. So you'll go to AutoZone and you'll say, I've got a 1995 F150. And a lot of times I think that's right about when they started producing digital. I don't know. It's like half of them are completely electrical, and half of them have a digital. A cable. See how the odometer in this one is. I don't know what that's called. Chronological. The numbers flip. That means the speed sensor is on the bell housing on the transmission, right behind. Well, let me just say right in the middle. Yeah, you probably can't see it. I don't even know if this video is working. It's right. It's right. It's very, very easy to find. I really got to get that out of the truck. Okay, see that big, greasy, gooey mess? Okay, it's right behind the drive line, on the shaft, right there. on the driver's side. So there is a cable also going into it. There's 2 wires and a cable. And that's how you know if your vehicle speed sensor is a cable and where it is, because your odometer, if it's or the speedometer, if it's digital, that means it's electrical, and it'll be coming from the wheelbase right there on top of the wheelbase. You just can't miss it. And it's a connector with 2 wires. If it's chronological, like I just showed you, then it'll be located on the bill housing, and there's only 2 of them. And the later model Fords, I think 350s, don't even ask me. I think there's more than one. And there is a year that they made where the speed sensor is behind one of the brakes, and you have I think it's the driver's side, the rear driver's side, and you actually have to remove the caliper, or you remove a screw and pull the caliper down. But don't ask me about those, because I don't know. I only know these really, really old cars, so at least I think I do. So I'm going to continue cleaning, and I'm going to clear the codes when I'm finished, and it will work. Oh yes, it will work. Got a carton of eggs just sitting here. And then when that's done, maybe I'll take that wrench back. You know, it's like 22 bucks for a wrench like that, for a 5-piece. It was 55. I don't know. Okay, well, so I guess the main thing I wanted to tell you about is when you're looking for hoses, don't forget, a lot of times, you got your siphon hose that works great, stuck on it, and if your engine stalls, it's probably not the it's probably not your ERG system, EGR. God, I always get that mixed up. It's probably not the EGR. It's probably something wrong with your vacuum system. Your vacuum line, those plenum vacuum lines tend to crack sometimes, and the little coffee can things they got into. But you can track down the suction. Put your finger over the green tube. You should be getting suction out of that. Plug it back in. Go to the other end of the green tube. It's on the right side, the driver's side of your engine, and unplug the green and the black tube. They go into the same connector, and then you should be getting connection out. You should be getting suction out of the black tube. So that's kind of like the process of elimination when you're checking suction tube by tube. And just, before you do that, give it a good visual. Make sure that there's no holes in your coffee can. Well, we call them coffee cans, but I still don't know what it's called. But it looks like a coffee can. And so, all right. So that's it for today, for now. And if it works, I'll let you know.